Hello and welcome back to the Lincoln Loco 2. Today we have got two big league games for you, Ebbsfleet and Stockport await us. Hopefully 6 points on the cards today. In fact, we're going to play a game today with today's episode. We're going to play a game, can you guess the outcome of the game? So you will last hear for the draw against Shrewsbury and the draw against Bury. Alright, next up, now it's the issue now I've just realised. I can't remember what teams have played in what order. So before we talk about the team, we're going to say guess the result. So things on buzzers, guess the outcome of the game, win, draw, loss. It is a draw, a 1-1 draw with Boston. We scored Mark Mason in the 5th minute before they brought him back before half time, and it stayed like that for the rest of the game. Next result, things on buzzers, win, draw, loss. Draw, another 1-1 draw. This time, Dan Happy rescues the draw for us in the 87th minute. They scored in just before half-time, actually, and we left it pretty late to score the goal before Stephen Brockley was sent off for the second time this season from a double yellow card and was given a 2-game ban. Next result then, win, loss, draw. What's your bet going to be? That's right, it's a win. We won it 2-1 this time against Fylde. We won it late on. They went 1-0 up, but Josh Coley and Mark Mason scoring 2 goals in the last 10 minutes, making sure we picked up the 3 points, which was really good after we had 5 games in a row with draws. So what do you think the next game is going to be? Win, loss, draw? That's right. It's a loss. This time it's a 5-3 loss to Cheltenham. They went 2-0 up. We brought it back to 2-2. And then they sort of decimated us in the second half. We scored a penalty. We actually saved a penalty. Jed Andrew saved a penalty, which was really good. It was a bit of a weird game, this, because stats were very even, apart from possession, where we had 60-40 possession. I don't think we played that badly in this game, to be honest with you. It's just a very weird scoreline. We're unfortunate to be on the receiving end of it. So I wasn't too disappointed despite the scoreline, because I think we played well for large parts of the game. It's just in short bursts, we were pretty rubbish. In the first 15 minutes or so, awful. The rest of the half, amazing. And then from 50 minutes to 70 minutes, awful. But then the rest of the game, pretty good. So it was a bit of a weird one, but unfortunate to lose that. Next game, win, loss, draw. What do you think it's going to be? It's a win this time. Yeah, you've sort of spotted it's not, there's still a trend, maybe. There's still a trend, but not drawing games now, at least. 5 games in a row. Finally got past that. A 2-0 win this time. Mason and Russell once again with the goals, 2 minutes apart to make sure it picked up 3 points against Gateshead. And the final result, it's still following a pattern. Win, loss, draw. A loss. Another loss. 2-1 loss to Plymouth. They scored very late on, unfortunately. Which was quite upsetting, to be fair. I think we played well in that game, deserved at least a point from it, so unfortunate to lose it. They're all the games that we played. Ebbsfleet and Stockport coming up today, as we already said. What that means for the table is that we have dropped down to 13th, outside of the top half, which is a little bit of a worry, although a lot of teams have played lots of different games, and I think we do have games in hand on a few teams above us. So I am confident that we can go back into the top half. I want top half now. I feel like we're only 5 points off the playoffs, to be fair, with a game in hand on Salford. So it's not like it's that impossible to get into the playoffs, but I don't think we're going to have the form and the momentum to carry us into the playoffs. And I don't think we really deserve to be there in terms of how strong our squad is. Of course, we had a really, really strong first half of the season, but the second half, I think we've shown our true colours and not been as clinical or as good as we were in the first half. So I think we're just a bit of a blip or an anomaly the first half of the season. I think what we're seeing now is probably what we should have seen all season. Now, we had our youth intake not long ago, and we signed the recommended players. As I do every single season, sign the recommended players. Now, of course, we mentioned earlier on this season that we had the issue with some of our young players being on £110 per week, and that takes up a lot of our wage budget. Now, I was under the impression that it must have been our assistant manager that gave them those big contracts when we renewed their contract at some point, something like that. I'm wrong. I've put all the blame on him, and I feel bad for it because it's not true. I signed all the recommended young players, and I thought they went on to £5 per week contracts. Not sure why I thought that, but I thought everyone went on to £5 per week contracts. No. Everyone has gone on to £110 per week, so we now have a massive youth squad with £110 per week players. Now, everyone that's up for contract renewal this summer is being released. As you can see, a lot of players being released, but we're still going to have a big youth squad with a lot of players on £110 per week next season, but they're on contract for another 2 years. So if we want to just even get rid of one of them, for example, if we want to just try and if we want to release on a free, that's £10,000 per player. And then we've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That's £160,000 if we want to just get rid of them all now, which, if we look at our bank balance, is more than half of what we have. So we can't do that. We just have to sort of suck it up for a while, which is a bit of a shame. Moral to the story, let's not sign any more youth players anymore unless they are actually good, because if we actually look at how good these youth players are, look at the reports, they're all absolutely woeful. As you can see, 2.5 star potential is the best, and that's just not good enough. In fact, in fact, the under-23s actually haven't got contracts, but I don't know if that means that they get paid anything or not. I don't know if these appearance fees count for the youth team or not. So I think actually, considering as well that these guys are all rubbish and none of them are actually going to go on to do anything for the club, it might actually just be safer to release all these guys right now free of charge. There we go, that's all done. They should be released, and I've accidentally submitted the team. Did not mean to do that. I went to press... Oh no, it doesn't matter. We were going on to the game now anyway, so we can talk about it now, I suppose, as team. I thought I was going to continue game. That's what I was doing. But no, submitted to the game by accident. Right, Jed Andrews in goal with a backline of Turiak, Wakely, Dan Happy and Atkins. Brockley and CDM because Bowley is on international duty with the Welsh under-19 squad. Hall on the left of the midfield, that is, with Belcher alongside him. Coley on the left-hand side of the attacking midfield with Russell on the right. And Mark Mason up front. I did want to talk about the team a little bit, to be fair. Mostly being that I don't think any of them are actually good enough. I think we've just had a bit of luck at the start of the season. We mentioned earlier that we had a bit of luck. And looking through most of his lineup, I think it's only Mason and Atkinson and maybe Jed Andrew who are good enough for League Two. The rest of them, according to the scout reports and the training reports and the coach reports, they are at best National League. They aren't, a lot of them are National South and North, apparently. And obviously, the way we played at the start of the season, you wouldn't think that. But apparently, that's what these players are. When you compare them apparently when you compare them to other players in other clubs, they are of a National League standard at the very best sort of thing. So, I do think that next season, I've said this the past few seasons, that we should probably just actually get rid of everyone, or most players, and just try and build something new. But that's going to be very difficult to do. So, I think some of the players that are up for contract renewal, Wakely being one of them, should go. Now, hear me out. I know Wakely's been good, but this season, the second half of the season especially, not very good. And he is on £700 a week. And ideally, he won't be playing much next season. I don't think we want him as a backup. But I don't think he'll take a big pay cut. And I don't think he'll want to be a backup player. So I think players like Wakely on high wages for the club, who probably shouldn't really be playing at this level and are a bit lucky to play at this level, they're probably candidates to go. And to be fair, if none of them can score goals apart from Mark Mason, a lot of them probably should go because we got to half-time with no highlights again. Luckily, though, we are the side on top against Ebbsfleet. Ebbsfleet, by the way, down in 23rd in the table. So really, we should be walking all over them today, as you can see, down in 23rd. 5 points from safety. It should be a walk in the park. First highlight of the game, though, in the second half, it's coming towards Ebbsfleet. We get rid of their corner, and actually Russell, with a bit of pace there, gets on the end of the clearance, and the counter-attack is ensuing. A great ball to Mark Mason, who's got 20 goals this season now in all competitions. Doesn't add to it there, but 20 goals in all competitions. Might be 21, actually, but he's definitely got 18 in the league, which puts him the third highest goal scorer in the league, which is mental. Now, last episode, I said we might sell him this summer. We might offer him to clubs for $500,000, maybe even $1 million, and see who bites on him. We have been playing a new striker that we've got, Tommy Hole. However, he hasn't scored a goal yet. And he's played quite a few games because Mason did have an injury in between episodes, and he could score a goal here. He does score a goal here. That is his 21st of the season, his 19th of the league campaign, that is, in league fixtures. So fantastic stuff from him. Tommy Hole gets to score a goal despite playing 4 or 5 games, to be fair. He's currently with the Welsh under-19s as well, so he's also unavailable at the moment. If he couldn't score goals, and Adeyemi, who we sold earlier on the season, bought earlier on the season and then sold him straight away as well because he was rubbish, if neither of them can score goals, maybe we shouldn't sell Mark Mason, even if we get £1 million offer, because at the moment, we're not finding strikers who can actually score goals, which is a worry. So maybe Mason is worth keeping, especially as he's got, he'll easily surpass 20 goals this season in the league. He's done that the past 2 seasons as well as... Oh, you hate to see that. Ebbsfleet equalise in 20 seconds to go in the game. That's really frustrating, especially when they're so bloody far down the table. That is horrible. You hate to see that. Maybe we'll grab a goal here. It's cleared, but that's it. We draw with Ebbsfleet. That's depressing. Anyway, I was saying, I'm having second thoughts about selling Marky Mason. But I don't know, £500,000, £1 million, even £250,000, that would probably make me press accept on the button, to be fair. But when you look at that goal scoring record and stuff, like, it is just amazing. It is just also amazing that no one's bid for him. Like, surely teams should be excited by this and they should want to buy him. If I was a championship club looking for a player from the lower leagues who's been in good form, and I think, maybe he might have an impact for us, maybe we'll give him a chance. A small contract, he's not used to big contracts, let's give him a chance. I'd sign him up instantly. I wouldn't actually sign him for a lot of money, but, maybe I would. Maybe I would if I thought they were really good. And Mark Mason is really good, so I wish someone would just bid £1 million for him, because that would make it a lot easier rather than just me doing it in my head all the time. Going back to contracts as well, these are the players with contracts expiring at the end of the season. I'm tempted to offer Cole. Well, I will offer Coley one, actually, to be fair. He's been really good all season. He'll get a contract. Joe Howell will just get one for the sake of being Joe Howell as well. But Gordon's not really done much. He'll probably go. Hall, I just don't think he's quite up to standard anymore. I think he'll probably end up going. Broccoli as well. He's not been setting the world alight this season, so he probably will go as well. And then Wakely on £700 a week. I think he's really got to go as well, maybe. So that's probably how things will pan out with these guys. But let me know what you think in the comment section, at least. Let me know what you do. It's not even funny. Not even funny. We've had 12 draws this season. The record is 15. We're on our way to reaching it, apparently. Brilliant. That'd be fantastic. But Mason, though, is set to become the top goal scorer at Lincoln United with, I think it's just league goals, I think. 74 league goals for Lincoln United. The record is 81. Doesn't actually tell me who's got those 81 goals anywhere in the records, because I have looked at it before and I just can't seem to see it anywhere. Right then, need to make some changes for lineup because a few players are looking tired out there. Howell has just come back from an injury, but I don't think he's really ready to start, if I'm honest with you. I don't think I really want to trust him. In fact, we'll take him off the bench, to be fair. We can bring Hole back on. What we can do as well is we can also bring Bowley back onto the pitch with Broccoli back into his CDM position. He's been very good this season, to be fair, Bowley. I have been impressed with him, although actually 79% condition. He'll come straight back off again and we'll put Broccoli back on. Actually, if I'm honest with you, I know a few players are tired. I just don't think it's a better lineup at the moment. I think this is the best lineup we've got. So let's just submit that team again, if I'm honest with you. After I've just said let's make some change, I know a lot of players who haven't played recently just lacking match sharpness and things like that, and I don't think it really gets much better than this. And what's been 5% down on last game, I don't know. Let's just go for it anyway. Stockport, one of the teams now above us in the table, but a win here today will take us back ahead of them. So if we want to get in the top half of the table, a win today is necessary. As Mason puts the ball out towards Belcher, back to Turiak, and Turiak just about retains possession and plays it back more centrally as Mason finds the gap into the area, shoots from the edge of the area, gets his 20th league goal of the season, his 22nd overall, putting us 1-0 up within a minute of today's game starting. And in doing so, puts us temporarily back up to 10th in the table, only 2 points off the playoffs. It's crazy how far we've come, to be fair, and how close we are to those playoffs. Even though we've had some atrocious results recently, it's still possible. Not so possible now that Stockport just equalised, but 80 minutes still to go in today's game. A long time to get some more goals. Throw in for us then in the attacking third as Broccoli puts it into Belcher. Belcher to Mason. Mason back to Belcher into Coley at the far post, who puts us back in front in today's game. Not long after, only 5 minutes after they scored their equaliser. So good going. This is what I want to see. I want to see a bit more free-flowing, a bit more chance creation of decent chances, that is. Coley doing ever so well at the far post there to get the space, make the space, squeeze it past the goalkeeper at the near post as well. He is an underrated player, I think, although I think this has got... it is a penalty. I thought Wakely had just made a superb tackle there and what looked like an inevitable goal. Is he going to be sent off? He could be. He has been sent off. Oh, no. Okay. In that case, we drop to the 4-4-2 and we bring Broccoli, or we'll just swap Broccoli and Mason over quickly. And then we bring Broccoli back down here. And okay, right. Can Broccoli play as attacking playmaker better? Not really. Can he play as a box-to-box midfielder better? He can, actually. So we'll bring him on as a box-to-box midfielder. Belcher can go on as that attacking playmaker. And then Hall has got to make way for Kenise Carroll to restore that back four. Right, penalty then. Jed Andrew got a very, very good record of saving them. Will he save this one? 2-2, and we've got to try and get a result now. I think the best thing to do, really, is just try and hold on for the draw. But you never know. You know, maybe we can get on a good counter-attack and Mark Mason will bag himself another goal. Yeah, it might have to be in the second half, but the counter-attack and the goal, it will come. Also, I feel like we may have been missing a trick here. We'll watch his highlights, but I think we have been... Is that another penalty? No, it's not. It's a red card for them. We're back on level terms. Scoreline, obviously, but also with players on the pitch. Yeah, he has been sent off. I was looking there to see he's been sent off, but he has been sent off. And immediately, they have a free kick, which it's offside. Offside. Don't worry about it. We are missing the trick, though. Turiak should be in that wing position, so we'll bring Sweeney on for Coley. Maybe that might just play into our favour a little bit more. Still waiting on that counter-attack. Still waiting us to have another shot since Wakely got sent off, actually. Still not had a shot since Wakely was sent off, which is worrying. So we're going to go on to positive, and we're also going to go on to encourage as well. Shout encourage out there. Not offering any encouragement. I'm literally just stood on the touchline going, encourage. Encourage. And that's what I'm doing. That's all I'm doing, to be fair. But Stockport with 10 minutes to go, looking like they want to come forward again. Ball over the top is a good ball, and it's another great interception there from our defence. Really good stuff. And the counter-attack that I said was coming is coming. Mason, penalty. You love to see that. Right. They've had one. We've had one. Mason, put this in the back of the net, my man. Get your 21st league goal of the season. You're bearing down on the two strikers that are ahead of you. He's got the goal, and that could get us the 3 points today, which would be massive. Instantly, though, highlights for them. Which we've won the ball back, which is promising. And actually, can we grab another goal as Russell on the ball into Broccoli, Broccoli into Belcher, Belcher with no opposition puts it. Well, that was a very poor ball. Stockport in behind the defence, and Jed Andrew. Oh, what a man! I love him. Huge save. I'm so glad we signed him on a permanent deal. I'm so glad we got him on a permanent deal. He's going to be hopefully the keeper for the club for the next few seasons. I really think he's going to be very good. As much as I love White as well, he's only on loan, and I think it would be very hard to entice him back, because don't tell me it's another late goal. We've suffered so many late goals this episode, obviously, but also this season. This season, we've let in a lot of late goals, and I think that's been a bit detrimental to us as well. I think we showed you some examples as well in between episodes of late goals. Although, could we grab an even later goal as Belcher is one-on-one with a kind of one-on-one? It was Dan Happy for a while. I'm not quite sure what he was doing up there. Don't know where Mason was either. But, I don't know. A 3-3 draw isn't too bad, all things considered. But when you consider how close we were to victory in this game and last game, it hurts. We could have had 6 points easy. If we got the 6 points, we'd be level on points with Oldham in the playoffs with 2 games on hand. And that would have been amazing. Instead, we find ourselves 4 points off the playoffs in 14th. That is what 2 90th minute goals do to you. This episode, it could have been so different. So different. But 2 late goals has seen it almost be a failure. Next episode then, we're going to go all the way to Gateshead and Yeovil on the final games of the season. I think actually, we might just do Yeovil. It depends. If we're looking like we might do playoffs, we'll do Gateshead and Yeovil. If we're not anywhere near the playoffs, or looking like we're going to get playoffs, I think we'll just do Yeovil, and then we'll talk about the team a little bit more in the second half of the episode. So next episode is going to be on Monday then, so we've got a weekend to play these fixtures and mull over things. I've got a long time then to think about if I want to sell Mason or not, which actually is quite handy because I'm still not deciding. I mean, I'm saying it like he'll definitely go for £500,000. I'm only going to sell him for that kind of money. Like, I'm not going to sell him for 50k like we did Douglas Hurst. So don't worry about that. Only if the offers come in and you guys think it's a good idea as well. Either way, next episode on Monday is going to be the final regular season episode of the Lincoln Loco 2 in the Football League. So join me then for that one, and then we'll either be in the playoffs or starting a new season on Tuesday, something like that. We'll have to work it out, obviously. We'll see what happens. But thank you very much for watching today's episode. If you have enjoyed it, make sure you do put a like on the video for me and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And I'll see you next time for some more Lincoln Loco.